Good morning everyone and welcome back to online class of IP. So today we will be revising few of the topics related to the basics of computer which will help you to write the answers in the upcoming text. So let us begin the video. The topic which we are going to revise are already written here on the screen, you can see, and we have already discussed it in the first chapter while learning computer system. But let us revise once again so that it is easy for you to write in the test. That is memory, the different kinds of memory, hardware and software devices, the different kind of softwares and the language processor. So let us first of all begin with the memory. So students, what is memory? Memory is a kind of, you can say, a storage device inside the computer which stores our data temporarily. There are different kind of memory which is further divided into primary and secondary memory. Now primary memory is also called as a main memory of the computer. It is also said to be as an internal memory of the computer because it is attached internally inside the CPU. Whenever you purchase a CPU, you get the primary memory already attached within it, and if you need any kind of additional storage devices, you can increase the storage capacity by adding a secondary memory to your computer. Now accessing the data from primary memory is really faster as compared to the uh, external memory because it is the internal memory of the computer. It is attached internally inside the CPU, so it is very faster as compared to the other memory. Now primary memory is further divided into two parts, which is RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read only memory. Now why secondary memory is required? Actually secondary memory is also called as external memory. As I have said, it is also named as a auxiliary memory. To increase the storage capacity of the computer, we need a additional memory device which is called as a secondary memory. There are different kind of secondary memories available in market like CD, ROM, DVD, pen drive, flash drive, which can be attached externally. It means outside the computer, outside the CPU, you can attach them and increase the storage capacity of your computer very easily. So now let us look into what is cache memory and what is the use of the cache memory. It is actually a memory which is placed nearest to the processor, and this memory holds the requested data and instructions from the user, which is immediately available to the CPU, and it is also capable of reducing the access time from the main memory. So to access the data more fastly and frequently, cache memory is placed nearest to the processor so that instead of getting it from the main memory, the data can be accessed easily and fastly from the cache memory of the computer. Alright, computer storage unit where the data is stored, they are also referred to as registers. So it's a very important point that registers are also a faster computer memory which is used to store the data and instruction which are in execution. Right, so any data instruction which is stored in the computer storage unit, that are also referred to as registers. Forward to the next topic, we will discuss about the hardware and software, which are the parts of the computer. Hardware are the physical tangible components of the computer which you can see and touch, like monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer. Now softwares are the logical parts of the computer which activates the physical part to work. So with the help of software only we can work with the hardware devices of the computer. All right, now the different types of hardware and softwares which are available, we can see here that the hardware, we have already seen that monitor, mouse, keyboard, any physical device is called as hardware. The software can be any application softwares which are installed into a computer, like internet browser or operating system, or the word processing software like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any designing software like Adobe, Photoshop. So anything which is help you to work and you can say work with the help of the hardware, it is called as software, or which activates the hardware to work. For example, I want to give a print command, so obviously I will open a word processing document to write a document, and then I'll give a print command, and then that print command will activate the printer to give a printout to you. So all these hardware devices, though both are connected together, which help us to perform our task. Now further, softwares are divided into different parts. First one is a system software, which is a kind of computer program designed to run the hardware and application programs. Operating system is called as a system software. Any operating system like Mac OS or Linux, Microsoft Windows or Unix, these are the operating systems. Many others are there. All those are categorized under the system software, which makes your system operational. Now the next part of the software is application software. It is further categorized into two types: general purpose and special purpose. General purpose softwares are those software which help you to do a variety of application, or different kind of tasks can be performed using these kind of softwares, like a word processor, or you can say PowerPoint or Excel, which are helpful for designing. Word is helpful for creating a document, writing a document, or you can say writing a novel. With the help of presentation software, you can design a presentation, or in Excel you can do some kind of general work such as calculation. So these all are categorized under the general purpose application software. Now the second one is the special purpose software, which is specially designed for some specific purpose. For example, any particular app or any particular software which is designed to perform only particular task, that is categorized under special purpose application software. For example, the camera which is inside your phone, the camera app, that is only capable of clicking the pictures or sharing the pictures, right? A calculator which can only do a calculation, it cannot write a document or write a novel, or it cannot play a music. A media player, it can only play a music. So those software which are specifically designed for some specific purpose, those are categorized under special purpose application software. Now moving next, there is a utility software. Okay, so you can see the definition is written over here, that it is a kind of system software which creates a workable environment for user to work with application software, which means that utility softwares are designed to handle the housekeeping functions of the computer. It means it is capable of maintaining the computer, for the maintenance of computer. The softwares which are categorized under utility softwares are antivirus software, which helps to remove the viruses from the computer; backup software, it takes a backup of the files; disk refragmenter, which fragments the large file into a small files and keep in the different part of the disk, and whenever it is required, can be accessed easily. So by these software you can analyze that these softwares are basically designed to increase the performance of the computer, which slows down your computer, because anyhow if there is a large file, the memory is full, your computer will slow down. If there is a virus inside your computer will slow down. So that is the reason utility softwares are designed to maintain the computer and to increase the performance of the computer, so that the user can perform their task in a very convenient manner, in a very easy way, and with a high speed. Next and the last topic is language processors. Language processor means processing the language. Students, as we know that we understand the high level language, or we do the query, or we write the instructions in high level language which is understandable by us. However, computer only understands binary level language, which is a machine level language, 0 and 1. So there are language processors inside the computer system which converts our high level language to the machine level language, which is further categorized into three parts. The first language processor is assembler. It converts the assembly level language to the machine level language, or you can say a binary level language. And second one is the interpreter, and third one is compiler. Interpreter converts the high level language to low level language, but it does it line by line. However, compiler also does the same thing, converting the high level language to low level language, but it does in one go. All right, so students, that's all for today. I hope you have understood the topics which we have revised. Go through the video properly. If you have any query, do mail me or text me. Till the time, stay safe and happy. Thank you so much.